Hello, welcome to the review for decimals and place values. This is going to be some practice. There's a bit of verbiage here. I'll be brief going through it, but I'll pause and say this would be a good time for you to stop the recording and read through this. So we're going to be using place values and we're going to be estimating to a place value. That's a little tricky sentence there. Estimating to a place value in physics. So we're going to do this review, give you a chance to quiz on it, and then if you have trouble, we'll help you out. If you get it, then we can move on. We'll see how it goes. This is a place value chart. And this is the number 1364.2895. And all of these are place values. So that's what we call the ones. This is what we call the tens. And so on and so on. They're all written down here and here. So just to be clear, anything to the right of the decimal place has a THS at the end. Anything to the left doesn't. And a little bit of confusion pops up in that they're not identically distant from the decimal. This is tenths and is the first place value to the right of the decimal, whereas tens is two place values to the left. Takes some memorizing, getting used to, but it's not that challenging. A lot of you have experience on it already. I would take some time, pause the tape now, and read through all this, either in the video or on your own. Same thing for this next one. Write the number 30 and 574 thousandths as a number. The big word here you have to pay attention to is the and. That separates things. So you got 30 and 574 thousandths. Since 4 is the thousandth spot, you just write it. You don't need any zeros. Again, I would pause this and read through this real quick. Write 345.029 in words. Well, that's 345. That's easy. And for the decimal point. And 29 thousandths, because there's no tenths. There's more than hundredths. There's thousandths. So we say 29 thousandths. This is very confusing, but again, not too bad. Pause the recording, make sure you read it, make sure you understand it as best you can. This is more what we're looking for. Can you identify all the place values? This one's in order, but I always start on either side of the decimal. This is tenths, and this is ones. It just makes me feel better. So that's a 7, that's 4. And then, oh, that's hundredths. So I can just go down the line here. And then tens is 2. And hundreds is 3. Thousandths is 6. And 10 thousandths is 5. So now that one kind of sets you up for. This one we're going to make a little more difficult. Start with the decimal point. Again, on one side is tenths. On the other side is ones. So ones is 7. Tens, no TH there, is 3. Tenths with the TH is 3 on the other side, so that's this one. And thousandths, well, we have to skip one. Tens, hundredths, and thousandths. It gets a little annoying with all those ths in the end, but deal with it. And now, do one on your own. Good time to pause the recording and try it yourself. As I keep saying, I go to the decimal, ones, tenths. I'll put them right in the middle. Ones. Yeah, I like putting little dashes, but that won't work. I'll put a colon. 1 tenths. Nine hundredths. 5 thousandths. 4. Going the other way, ones, tens, 8, hundreds, 2, thousands, 5. Those are all the place values. This is annoying. This is challenging, but this is stuff that you need to understand. We're trying to give you the language of physics so we can speak on the same page. The language of science, really. We'll be using this a great deal this year and even more so next year in chemistry. Now some estimating, also known as rounding. We tell you where to estimate to, and then you have to consider whether you have to round. So, for example, to estimate, I think I found a small mistake here. We'll go to the hundredths. You would write this, because this is the hundredths place. And then you go to the next one over and you say 5 or greater, round that up. 4 or less, round it down. It's 4 or less, so you just round it there. And again, that's the hundredths. Always got to look at that. Here we go. Here's another number, same number, 958. We want to round it to the hundredths place. Notice I can't abbreviate this too often because we have a problem. So we go hundredths, that's the 5. 8 is larger, so we got to round that up and make it 5281.96. This is a good time to pause the recording and try some of these on your own. This is the 1 place. This is less than 5, so 37. Notice I don't do that. That means I rounded it to the tenths. To the tens place. Tens. This is ones, tens. That's the tens. The next digit over is bigger than 4. 5 or bigger. So this is 560. At which point you say, wait a minute. You told me not to put the 0 in. Well, I have to. I have to put this in. Because otherwise it's only 56, not 560. Again, it's confusing. If I do this, that would tell you I rounded it to here, which I didn't. So, some minor confusion. Don't worry about it. You'll get through it. 10th place, right here. This is bigger, so we go 57.6. And it's always better to be the right of the decimal. Very easy to do. 100th place. Tens, hundreds. I have to go always through it, make sure I'm happy with it. Next one's 2, so we just go 111.79. Round the number to the designated place value, and this is just practice. This is all we're going to do. 10th place, that's this one, 125.5. 1's place, that's this one, it's less than 4, and you might say, well, but what about the 8? Who cares? Just look at the next column. 125. Is it 125 or 125 point? Doesn't matter. This one I like better. It's a little cleaner. Tens place. That's this one. 130. Definitely no decimal here. Tenths place. That's this one. Round up. Hundredths place. Tens, hundredths. Round up because the 8's bigger. So 7 becomes an 8. And the 1's place. That's this one. Just 7. Very challenging stuff. Giving you a fair amount of practice here. Might even want to take these, put your hands over the answers you got, erase them, and then try it again. See if you understand what you're actually doing. This is tricky science stuff, but we know you can do it. Good luck.